Everybody, welcome back to Pit Stain Hobbies, the dumbest scale modeling channel on all of YouTube, and it is Hobby Tool Tuesday over here. We got a new reciprocating sander from the fine people at the unspellable, unpronounceable name of DSPIAE. That's how I pronounce it. I could be saying it completely wrong. And I saw they had a new pro version of their sander, and I've been using their original reciprocating sander for the better part of a year now, and it's a very nice product. And it's like it doesn't have a lot of torque. It's a fairly light duty sander, which is perfect for models because you don't want to take off too much material sometimes, like trying to take out filler or sand a seam down a little bit. This thing comes in a lot of handy, especially for 3D printed parts. When you're sanding down little support nubs, this is it can be quite delicate as far as applying pressure to the thing you're sanding. It's USB-C rechargeable. However, there is one downside to this thing. Well, sometimes the sanding heads will like kind of pop off on you a little. But the main downside is if your battery dies while you're working and you go to plug it in to charge, you can't turn it on again. You got to wait until you're done charging or you unplug it before it'll turn on again. And if you plug it in, she's dead, Clark. Nothing. You got to wait. And you get all these little sanding pads with it, and I've ordered spares over the years. So you get these little different shaped sanding pads. We're going to go through the review of this one, but I think I've reviewed this one before. I'm not quite sure. But I like it. I really like it a lot. I'm actually going to gift this one to one of my fellow model builders if this thing does what I think it's going to do. So this is the Reciprocating Sander Pro, and it's gray, so it's more awesomer, right? I'm cracking the plastic wrap seal on this thing with you all for the first time. So let's just drag the hobby blade across that. Didn't slice our fingers open. It has a fun little feature on the side of the box. It shows you the charge level as you pull it out of the box. It changes color to show you how dead the battery is. It's kind of cool. All right. And it's got all the same things going on as the other one. Similar packaging, not a see-through box. But it's got all the same. It's laid out differently in the box. This one has the felt lined with all these little things. This one has them lined up sideways in a more efficient pattern, so you can store the sandpaper inside the box. The sandpaper we're going to go over too. That's upgraded. That's changed. And the sander itself feels like it has a little more chooch. And it feels cold. Is this one metal? Yeah, this one's got an aluminum housing, I think. It feels like aluminum. This one's definitely plastic. So they've worked on that. They worked that over. It's got the same attachment system as the original. Oh, the heads fit on much snugger. Much snugger. Let me grab one of the heads I've never used on the old one. Oh, the old heads don't even fit on the new one. Interesting. Let's do this. Let's oh no, they only go on that far. So maybe it's just the position that the reciprocator's in. Oh, they fit. Yeah, they're fine. They fit. They fit. The old heads fit. Um, so the big deal with this one, there's a couple of big deals, is all right. I think it's a little. Hold on. Wait. Off. Hmm. Okay. It definitely runs at a higher RPM. It's got a little more chooch to it. And the other major difference is when it's plugged in and charging, which I need to probably because I just got it. Oh, it's pretty much fully charged. It's already at green. You can use it. You can use it while it's charging, which is killer. Um, a killer upgrade from the old one. And I think this is aluminum. It feels cool to the touch. So it is a metal housing on it. So that's been upgraded. It might have more battery capacity. The overall size is identical. So that is good. So we'll let that charge while we're talking about the other stuff. So the sandpaper for this thing, all right, I already used up all the big sanding pads on my original, but it's just, a piece of, I think I got one stuck over here by accident. It's just a piece of sticky backed sandpaper, and they have all the different little sizes for each different size head. So that's nice. This one, on the other hand, I didn't realize until I started reading the labels on the box and looking at the DSPIAE website for the description of this. This one is very different. It's very cool. They are silicone backed sandpaper. So instead of just being on the solid plastic backing, they have a little added layer of silicone rubber underneath the sandpaper, which is pretty awesome. And they have some different sizes. Like that's probably for the round head. Yeah. So the big one's going round, and it has all the different. It's got this rounded head. It's got a really narrow, rectangular head. It's got a slightly wider one. It's got a little pointy one for getting into little corners and things. It's got it's got a smaller curved round one for getting into other spots. It's got an even skinnier straight one for other things. And then it's got one with like kind of a curved profile to the edge, which is really nice. So this one, oh man, these are cool. So it's got like got a little silicone buffer pad on it, so it has some give, which is interesting. That's nice. Let me zoom in a little bit. So yeah, and you get multiple grits, and you get labels to put on your sanding adapter. So the 180, the 280. You get 280, 180, 280, 400, 600, 800, 1000, and 1200, which is a good variety to have, and they all fit right in there, which is absolutely awesome. So that is a killer change in the packaging of the storage case. And then this is good. I like this a lot. So just like a very quick test, I put a 180 pad on here and I painted up just a piece of this thing with some black primer. I didn't want to wait for body filler to dry, or I would have done that. But I use these for I use my DSPIAE sander a lot. I love it. So there you go. I mean, it's very quick. It's effortless. There's you just let the tool do the work. Don't press super hard, but I do wanna low, medium, high. Like how hard? Okay. So I pressed really damn hard on that one before it gave up. Let's take a look at this one. On the highest setting. Yeah, it really peters out a lot quicker. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. This is a little more delicate. This one's a little more brutal if you're not careful with it, but it's still, it just shuts down if you press too hard. So that's kind of training you to not put too much pressure. The funny thing is when it's plugged in and charging, it seems to default to starting on maximum speed, which I don't mind because that's usually what I'm using is maximum. Who wants minimum? I want maximum strength. Give me enough to kill me and then back it off a notch. If anyone knows what TV show that's a reference to, let me know. Yeah, you know. I want Prel, the hard stuff. Take your hair right off your scalp. Okay, I probably gave away too many hints there. So this thing's pretty awesome. I'm very happy with it. I loved my old one, and that's gonna go to a buddy. I forgot who I said I was gonna send it to. I think my buddy Donnie at Don's Modeling Bench. I'm gonna send this to him because he's gonna paint up some little Millennium Falcon figures for me from Falcon 3D parts that I got. I'm not a good minifig painter, and I want to do right by Gus over there at Falcon 3D. And then with all my sandpaper, I turn it on and rub it on the eraser. To kind of clean out the grit. Man, this thing is spunky. Oh, let me do it manually. Yeah, that's working a little better. Oh, it's such a light color, the sandpaper, compared. These are all black, the old sandpapers, and these are all white, so it's hard to tell when you're cleaning out the grit. You could still use the older sanding paper, the older stuff, with this newer sander, because the tips are all the same. So you didn't waste your money. If you bought a bunch of these, I bought like 2 extra packs of these things for this sander. I really just cracked open the second pack because I ran out of big squares of 180. You could also get self-stick, sandpaper discs from Home Depot and cut them to size yourself if you're not a lazy bum like me. But this is a really nice sander. This is definitely an evolution of the old one. It's better in, I'd say, pretty much every way. I'm very happy with it. It has all of the pros of the old one, and they've reduced some of the cons, like the not being able to use it while it's charging, and it having a little bit more power, like noticeably more power. I would say probably 50% in my very, very like a subjective opinion. It seems like about 50%, maybe more. I could look up specs with RPMs on websites and give you actual factual data, but you don't come here for that. You just come here to see what the hell I'm going to do next. But this is actually an excellent tool. I'll have a link below to Amazon where I bought it. If you buy it using my link, you're not going to get a special discount, but I'll get a few cents. So yeah, that is cool as hell. I'm very happy. This is a great new sander. I'm happy with that. I do not regret this purchase at all. Regret 0%. Many other things in life, many percents of regrets. But this 0, this was great. No downsides. Actually, the only criticism I can give them is it doesn't have the smoked clear lid anymore. Which, I mean, I know it's in the damn box, but it was a nice looking package. And just going with the gray instead of the red, I guess they were going for a more pro look, pro. Like they were going to make this thing out of like billet aluminum or something. It's basic. The innards of this case is also, like I said, a vast improvement with the layout, because the sanding papers, like, you could technically fit this in the box and like close it down and keep one in there, but it looks stupid. So now what I'm going to do is go online on Amazon again and order a whole nother batch of these things, because I love them, and I want to give Donnie as many extra sanding pads as I have available when I send this to him. So I'm going to buy myself all new silicone backed sanding pads, and these are backward compatible with the original model. So if you just have the original model, but you like the idea of these silicone backed sanding pads, you could just buy these separately and use them on your older sander. But if there's definitely a noticeable boost in power, and you could use it while it's charging. I mean, they've really cured any ill will I had towards the original sander. It's pretty sick. Okay, so it basically arrived fully charged. Yay, DSPIAE. Love fully charged lithium-ion tools when they arrive. Okay, so it goes 1, 2, 3 speed, and then off. So it seems when it's charging, I turned it off the normal approach. No, now it's... I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. So no rhyme or reason to it. Let me take that sanding head off, put that back in the box. I got detritus all over it. I've got schmoo all over my bit. The other thing is, yes, you can put the lid on it while a tip is installed. I don't necessarily recommend storing it like that, because I feel like it's going to stretch out the little plastic guy inside of there. So I'm going to try to be conscious to store this unloaded, so to speak. But yeah, there we go. It comes with, a little tiny dingus. I mean, I wish my dingus was this long. But it does come with a USB charging. Oh yeah, what is that? 8 inches, 10 inches? That's some inches. Yeah, no. Man, I would be in a totally different career if I had something that sized. Nothing. Ignore what you heard there. I'm kidding. Honey, I love you. I love my wife. Yeah, so you can store that in there, and ba-boom. Awesome. This thing's great. I was really happy with the original one. And I'm even happier with this one. And I love this one. So, very cool. Like I said, click the links below. Go get you one. Go get you some. This is a great thing to have. It's fantastic. Especially for delicate areas where you're like sanding on a curved edge, like a frickin', a seam on a warp nacelle, where you want to be careful, but you don't want to with a sanding stick, or like with sandpaper or sponge. After a while, you get older, you start going, this is kind of painful. Repetitive stress injuries, carpal tunnel, all that stuff kicks in. Some of our older comrades in the hobby, they could have arthritis. They could have all sorts of ailments and things. And this could make modeling reattainable for some people. Having tools like these, where it's small and lightweight, easy to hold, low fatigue, not a lot of like massive vibration in your hands. And it lets you get back to the thing you love of building models, because you had to stop because running a sanding stick over your model for 20 minutes was painful and crippling. And I'm being very, very honest, very, heartfelt and honest right now. Yeah, I get it. You know, I hear a lot of stories of some older guys going, you know, with my arthritis, I can't model anymore. I don't know what part of that is that they can't, you know, but some of it is repetitive stress things like sanding. So while sanding sticks are always going to be around and they're always great, and sandpaper sponges and all these other sanding apparati and files and all those things, this thing has a tip to fit in just about everywhere. That's what she said. And it's great. So thanks for watching, everybody. It was a slightly informative video for a change instead of just rantings and ramblings from a moron in his basement. But yes, thank you for watching Pit Stain Hobbies once again. I'll see you next time. I promise to get the subject, the title of this video correct, unlike my airbrush review, which I fixed. I had the wrong... that was a disaster. Adios, everybody.